Here's how my typical day looks like. I wake up, I check my phone notifications, then I check my work emails and calendar to see what meetings I've scheduled for today. While doing that, I remind myself today is the last day to pay the electricity bill. Oh, and at some point today, I should get back to my friend who asked me to check something. And while doing that, I remind myself I need to call my parents as well. Besides, there are a number of unread WhatsApp messages that I should check just in case someone is waiting for my response. Oh, and don't forget to water the plants. Maybe not all of these activities resonate with you, but I assume most of us have this same challenge of having to decide what tasks to do first, whilst making sure that we don't miss anything that needs our urgent attention. And this story is not just of one day, it's of weeks, months, years, and our entire life. It's very easy to get lost in these urgent tasks that we have to do. It's like a constant influx of tasks thrown at us, and we keep on trying our best to handle everything. But unfortunately, without seeing any significant progress or a big change in our life. Because perhaps in this chaos, we lose this ability to see what's important, and we lose the command over our priorities, and we keep on spending time on activities that deep down we know that they're not worth spending on. Interestingly, this seems to be driven by our psychology. A study conducted by a Journal of Consumer Research concluded that people are more likely to perform unimportant tasks, that is, tasks with objectively lower payoffs, over important tasks, that is, tasks with objectively better payoffs, when the unimportant tasks are characterized merely by spurious urgency. And they called it the mere urgency effect. Thankfully, a very useful tool called the Eisenhower Decision Matrix or Eisenhower Method is available to us, so that from that chaotic influx of tasks, we can clearly identify and categorize the tasks based on how urgent or important they are, so that we do effectively the urgent tasks that we have to do, but we also don't lose sight of the important tasks that actually will bring the most returns. This method can be used to prioritize tasks in short term, that is your day, week, or micro planning, as well as in long term, that is your months and years, or in other words, macro planning. You might have guessed that this matrix is named after Dwight D Eisenhower, who was the 34th President of the United States. He served 2 terms as president and was popular as an extremely productive person. During his presidency, he established NASA, and he played a key role in the development of the interstate highway system. Before that, he was the first supreme commander of NATO and also was once a president of Columbia University. His popular productivity quote is, "What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important." Later on, an author called Stephen Covey repackaged Eisenhower's insights into his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People into this simple tool which we now know as Eisenhower Decision Matrix. Now let's try to understand the matrix itself. Eisenhower Matrix is essentially a box with 4 quadrants with labels on top and on the side. The labels on top are urgent and non-urgent, and on the side, the 2 labels are important and not important. Each quadrant corresponds to a combination of those 2 labels. So the tasks that are urgent and important falls into the first quadrant. These are the tasks that we cannot avoid. These tasks could require crisis mode response. For example, your house is flooding. These could also be deadline driven tasks. For example, you have to submit a report or you have to pay a bill by a certain date. Other example of tasks in this quadrant could be related to any pressing problems. For example, health issues for which you have to go and see the doctor. So we should just do all of these urgent and important tasks. The second quadrant represents tasks that are non-urgent but important. These are the tasks that bring the most value and improvements in life, and are usually the ones which help you achieve your long-term goals. Instead of the problems, this quadrant focuses on opportunities and ideas that you can implement to see real growth in your life. Now, example of these tasks in quadrant 2 could be related to prevention of a future disaster. For example, building a healthy investment portfolio or following a fitness routine. Or tasks here could also be related to capability improvements. For example, learning a new skill. So for these tasks which bring the most results, we should decide, plan and schedule on our calendars so that we don't lose sight of these. If you resonate with the tasks in this quadrant, then you might like a video that I've done on how to convert your ideas into action when you have no motivation to do so. And I've also done another video on top 5 tried and tested productivity tips that you can use to be more effective and efficient. I've left the links in the description below so you can check out if you wanted to. Moving on to quadrant 3, which represents tasks that are urgent but not important. These are the interruptions and the pressing matters that we have to do, but they don't really bring any value to us. Remember the mere urgency effect? That applies to tasks in this quadrant. For example, paying your credit card bill or washing dishes, which you have to do but doesn't really add anything to you. The solution for these tasks is to delegate this to other people, if that is possible. Or the other option is to automate your tasks. For example, to pay your credit card bill, you could look into setting up the automatic payment so you don't have to deal with that every month. And finally, the fourth quadrant represents tasks which are non-urgent and not important. These are the activities where we tend to waste our time completely. For example, mindlessly browsing the internet, spending a lot of time on social media aimlessly, or doing excessive amount of gaming. So for these tasks, we should be aiming to delete them from our life. Now going back to quadrant 1 and looking at the tasks in this quadrant, we should aim to reduce the number of these tasks in our daily routine. If you look at them, these tasks usually result in stress or burn you out. And you'll always have a feeling that you are just trying to juggle between things. On the other hand, the tasks in quadrant 2 add quality to your life. So we should aim to increase these tasks in our daily routine. These tasks bring control and balance and help you create and fulfill a greater vision. So ideally, we should be living in this quadrant the most. For the tasks falling into the quadrant 3, because these are urgent, so we should just be managing and overseeing these tasks. Because if you're spending too much time on these interruptions, you tend to feel that you're not living your larger life goals. And about the tasks in quadrant 4, if you're spending majority of your time in this quadrant, that just shows irresponsibility, dependency on others, and absence of fulfilling vision. So the aim here should be to avoid these activities. But I hope activities in quadrant 4 are not confused with recreation, which I believe are very important and should be in quadrant 2. Maybe we can call the activities of quadrant 4 as excessive recreation. So, using the Eisenhower Matrix, when we can clearly see which tasks are important and which are urgent, we can overcome our natural tendency to only focus on the urgent and not important tasks, so that we can actually focus on the tasks which bring us the most value. I hope that Eisenhower Matrix will help you filter the noise from that chaotic influx of tasks that are thrown at us, so that you can make the right decision to focus on the tasks that matters to you the most. If this video has added any value to you, please feedback by hitting the like button or by sharing this video. Well, even better, by subscribing to my channel so that you can be notified of the upcoming videos. All the best.